All right, Little Green Men, Season 2. Let's get into it. All right. So, we kind of get like a contact episode here. Remember the movie Contact, written by Carl Sagan, starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. We got the big, we got the messages that were sent out into space. We've been waiting, and then finally we get a transmission. And Mulder goes to investigate this thing. Now, the X-Files has been dismantled at this point, and Mulder is on this ridiculous case, which he says that he could have busted these guys in like 2 days, but they've kept it on him. They've kept him on it for weeks just to, keep him at bay, just keep him away from what he wants to be doing. And Scully just seems to be so out of it. She's trying to teach this class, and she just can't. She's like spacing out, and she's just missing Mulder. She's missing it. So she goes and tries to talk to Mulder in the FBI, and he won't even look at her. So she has to arrange a private meeting between him and them, because they're not even supposed to be seeing each other, because obviously people are after them, and he wants to be disconnected from her. And she goes to talk to him, and she's just like, "I miss you." And he's so committed. I mean, Mulder is just so damn committed to his work. He doesn't know how to do anything else but the X-Files. He doesn't know how to do anything else but search for the truth. He wants to believe truly. But Mulder starts to question everything too. I think it's just kind of his bored mind getting to him, and that he's been pulled up. Maybe it's almost like a defense mechanism. Like, he knows he can't do anything, so he's like trying to convince himself, or he's having a moment where he's not working on the X-Files, so he's actually having time to think, and he may be sitting there like, maybe I'm insane, maybe there isn't aliens. But he's seen so much. I don't understand. He just starts to question things, but as I said, I guess we can kind of explain that away. We actually get to see Samantha's abduction, or at least Mulder's interpretation of what possibly happened that night. And this, like, the whole episode being set up about, like, contact, and then trying to shut it down, all that, that doesn't really add up for me that much. We'll see how it plays in later episodes, but the government already knows the aliens are there. They're flying around alien spacecraft technology, and they're constantly covering up fallen angels and everything. And it's just, I don't know, at this point, would contact really be that big of a deal for them? Like, why? Like, I guess it's just a totally different alien race than the other alien races that have visited. Like, why are they contacting now when they've already arrived? So it must just be a completely different kind of race. And as I said, I don't remember, so maybe we'll find out, and then we'll be like, oh, okay, so that's what it is. We hear Mulder's answering machine, and he blew off some chick he had a date with, and she thinks that he's scum. Mulder can't even get his shit together to go get laid. Scully guesses his password, which ends up being trust no one. That was one hell of a guess, as opposed to ONE. She just puts a 1, and the fact that she guessed that at all is amazing, but hey, she knows Mulder. So then Jorge is over. He goes to this the satellite that had caught the message, and down in South America somewhere, and Jorge's there, and he's seen aliens, and he's freaking out, and he can't speak English, and Mulder's trying to figure it out. And then they come back, and Jorge freaks out, runs outside, and gets, it looks like he dies of fright. He's screaming, and his hands are locked in place, and his face is all white, and just, he got so scared. Scully's calling people on a payphone. How often do you see a payphone anymore? Jesus Christ, those things are ancient history now. Then they come after Mulder, and he tries to fire his gun, and his gun doesn't work. I thought that was pretty cool. That's one hell of a defense. Going back to defense mechanisms, that's one hell of a defense the mechanism these guys have. in their beams of light, I guess. And then yeah, Scully comes out. She's like taking different flights. She's ducking people. She gets out there, and she gets there just as this militia is coming for Mulder. He grabs a tape and jumps in the truck, Jeep, and they have like this commando chase, like when Matrix is driving after his daughter, and he's the brakes are out and everything. He just pushes it down the hill, and it's just kind of reminded me of that a little bit. God, I love that movie. I need to have a Arnold Schwarzenegger-a-thon on this channel. And then Skinner tells the cigarette man to get out because Mulder is yet again lined up, and he's like, "You had me tapped," and he's like, "You tapped him?" Like, so this is kind of where Skinner becomes a real part of the show, and he's on this case, and he's really trying, and he's in the next episode as well. So I think we're going to see a lot more of Skinner now, which is great because in the first season you only see him like twice maybe, so he's really not in the first season at all. But in this one, he's kind of on Mulder and Scully's side. He just can't be because of some chain of command. He has to obey his orders, but at the same time you can tell where his allegiances lie. He just needs them to act within the confines of what they are set in, and he'll help the best he can. But if it ever goes outside of that, he's like, guys, come on, and he's always got a safe face. So I like Skinner. He's a great character to the show. I'm glad he's finally in it. And then Mulder, when he loses the tape and there's nothing on it, he's like, well, I still have you, Scully, which gives her this big smile. I mean, the flirt, like the sexual tension and chemistry and all that stuff between them, especially Scully. Scully throughout this show seems to be more into Mulder than Mulder is into Scully. But it's all over this. And as I said, the tape is blank, but Mulder has not given up on this thing, and he just keeps listening closer and closer as he's trying to see if there's anything left on this damn thing. He should take it over to the lone gunmen, see if they can find anything, but that tape got nothing on it. All right, let's move on to episode 2.